All right, some big names in Chicago crime fiction are here with us this morning to tell us more about their new releases, Echo by Tracy Clark and Best Lies by David Ellis.
Tracy, David, good morning to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
And you're doing a joint signing today, which is why you're both here.
Right.
Do you guys have like a club? We write crime mystery novels. Is that why you're here today? Is that how you know each other?
Well, we sort
From the meetings?
batting around together, right, for decades. I'm not decades, but a long time. But yeah, we know each other. There's a writing community that we all sort of stick together with. So yeah, we know each other. We're
There's
buds.
a community. We like to commiserate, and we like to,
Cry.
go through everything
Competitive
together.
or work together?
Not so much competitive, supportive.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome,
I think it's very collaborative, and we
Good.
try to help each other when we can. I don't see the competition really.
Well, I would hope so. I would just have to ask.
Yeah.
You've co-authored some books with James Patterson,
Yes.
big name in this genre.
Yes.
What is that like? Because he has many people working with him, and he has a whole staff now. What is it like when you get to that point of your career where you have people writing for you and you just kind of come up with the themes?
You know, he's very involved in every book. He knows he crafts the entire book, what he wants it to look like, and then I do the writing of it. But he, little by little, and he reviews it. He really keeps his hands in it. Every time I talk to him, it's like taking a master class. I mean, the guy has forgotten more about how to write a book than most of us will ever learn.
And Tracy, you are an award-winning author and grew up on the south side of Chicago, South Shore, Hyde Park. Talk about how your upbringing and just living in the city of Chicago, how does that influence what is produced in your storytelling?
Well, Chicago's a really cool place, right? I mean, we're sort of known for certain things, corrupt politicians and crime. And so when you're a crime writer, I mean, it's kind of like being in Eden. I mean, you just sort of walk outside your house and there's an idea. You find interesting places, dark places to sort of hide a body, a fictional body. I mean, so it's kind of like living in a really good, creative, imaginative, gritty place. So I love it. I love it.
Your latest book is Echo. Your latest book is The Best Lies.
Yes.
And here's the thing that we haven't said about David yet. He is a former judge and a prosecutor. And speaking of corrupt politicians, you have gone to bat against one of the most infamous ones in Chicago.
Yes, yeah. Well, Governor Blagojevich's impeachment was something that I hoped would never come.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he would resign when the allegations came out, but he chose to fight, and so there was really no choice but to go through with the impeachment. That was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Well,
I was going to say, have you included any portions from that experience in any of your writing?
I did. I actually I was basing a book on someone like Governor Blagojevich, fictionalized, when all this happened, when he got arrested by the FBI, and I had to change it because truth was stranger than my fiction. So I had to tailor it more to coordinate with what's happening. I wrote a book. It was called Breach of Trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of you, when you're talking, I've heard many times the writers from some of the most out there political dramas now say they couldn't have scripted what's happening today. Do you find that? Do you find coming up with something that's original that has not happened in real life more and more challenging?
I think the reality
or do you just pull from
is
that
great.
and
I mean,
and
you
build
don't have
on
to
it?
do much to that. I mean, dirty politician. I mean, all you have to do is sort of change the names. The crimes are wonderful.
What's your favorite thing to write? What haven't you written yet that you really want to write for both of you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think crime is my niche. I might sort of branch out to something other than that.
It doesn't have to be a different genre. What story do you want to tell?
I don't know. I like serial killers. So
okay.
I started with one in Hyde.
Okay.
I kind of like that sort of mindset. I don't know what that says about me, but I just love serial killers and sort of getting into that mindset and figuring out what makes them tick and sort of going from that. Anything is possible at that point.
In the last few years, real crime dramas have been just exploding on TV.
Yeah. I think that people like, and I'm drawn to stories with people who are very relatable, very conventional people who seem like they follow the rules, but then they break the big outer boundary laws, like murder being the biggest one. I mean, true crime is usually, somebody seems so normal. We used to carpool together. Who knew he was going to take an axe to his wife, right? But people do go off the deep end, and I think we're always interested in how they get pushed.
All right, David, Tracy, thank you so much. You can meet David and Tracy today at Northbrook, the Barnes & Noble there this afternoon from 1 until 3. They're doing a meet and greet, a book signing, so go buy their books. You have many books. You can go online and buy them all. Amazon right now. Thanks for joining us, both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right,
Hey,
we're going
Tim.
to send things over to Tim.
Hey there, guys.